fact that we live on such dormant but potentially active fault lines in the city, there was always this notion of like one day a large earthquake might come. But then everyone's eyes were definitely wide open when we did have the earthquake in 2020. So as scary as that was, it's a good reminder and it's a good wake-up call to be prepared as much as we can here in Salt Lake City. And in our division, we administer the city's HUD funds for community development grant programs, but then we were very excited to have brought on the Fix the Bricks program, which is funded by FEMA.
The Fix the Bricks program is a seismic retrofit for unreinforced masonry buildings. So brick buildings that were built before 1970s.
In an earthquake event, before it was reinforced, it would wiggle around and the roof would collapse. Walls would go in, walls would go out, and now when we're reinforcing it, we're kind of making it one structure so it wiggles.
The building stays intact so that the homeowners can escape the building in time to preserve life. If an earthquake does happen, that results in so many other potential risks: losing power, floods, no street access for emergency management to even get to those places. And the hope with using INCOR is it can show us exactly where that earthquake risk could happen.
INCOR can process several layers of data at a time. You can look at geographic data, you can look at geologic data like fault lines, liquefaction rates for soils, and then they can look at community resilience levels. So for example, we could put in data on hospitals and say what would be the strain on hospitals after a disaster compared to if a large number of houses collapsed or if we put the mitigation in place and fewer structures collapsed. INCOR also allows us to put demographic layers and say we want to look at factors like socioeconomic risk, race, ethnicity, income, and then historical disparities like redlining. And then let's also see which residents are least likely to be able to make these retrofits on their own, and then target the grants to reach the most vulnerable.
Using INCOR and seeing that data really shows us how much an earthquake can impact more than just the house, and really seeing it holistically.
With INCOR, we can get really granular. We can not just see the risk, but then also the recovery model, and then displacement models. How many people are going to need temporary shelter? How many people will be able to return to their homes in what period of time? And the INCOR team is able to take that and create a custom solution that allows you to get data to find the answers. So we spent 9 to 12 months looking at what were our needs with the INCOR team and how can we use this tool to best adapt it for our specific valley. And then they came out here and did a demo with us. We're also using it when we apply for funding. This gives us hard data that we can take to FEMA to say this is a real problem, here is the evidence that shows that.
So that's why we really appreciate being able to have like a supercomputer in our pocket. INCOR has just been a huge leap in that technology and resource for us.